There is a belief that feels almost morally correct. If you make good decision, you get good outcome. Not immediately, maybe, but eventually. Over the time, the arc bends towards payoff. That belief is clean, it is comforting, it gives structure to effort, and it is incomplete. Good decisions very often create delayed problems, not because they were wrong, but because they worked. When something works, it changes the environment around it. It changes your expectation, it changes other people's expectation, it changes what becomes normal. And those changes don't show up in the first results, they show up later. Second order effects are rarely visible at the moment of choice. The first effect is loud and validating. Revenue goes up, reputation improves, efficiency increases, a relationship stabilizes, the problem appears solved, and mind builds a story. Of course, that worked. It was smart, it was disciplined, it was principled. The narrative fallacy isn't just about intervening causes after the fact, it's about compressing the time. It turns an initial positive outcome into proof that the path itself is inherently good. But the path continues. The first effect is what you measure, the second effect is what you live with. Consider growth. You make a bold expansion decision, it succeeds, demand increases, the market responds. That's the first effect. The second effect is subtle. Complexity increases, coordination becomes harder, small inefficiencies compound, expectation rise to match a new baseline. What was once exceptional becomes required. The original good decision created a more fragile operating state. It still might have been right move, but it carried a delayed invoice. The problem is that we judge decisions too early. We assess them at the point of visible impact. We attach identity to the impact, we defend it. Time delayed judgment feels unfair. It disrupts the story. The first year after decision is strong, we encode it as wisdom. If year 3 reveals strain, we blame external noise. But second order effects are not noise, they are consequences. Another example we can consider, you decide to optimize your time aggressively. You eliminate distraction, you narrow your focus, you say no to low leverage activities. The first effect is clarity and productivity. Output increases. The second effect can be narrowing exposure, reduce serendipity, fewer weak ties, a smaller option surface. Yes, years later, adaptability declines. The original choice worked, it did exactly what was designed to. It just did more than that. This is where the narrative fallacy become expensive. We want a clean arc, decision leads to outcome, leads to validation. We dislike open loops. So when second order effects begin to surface, we reinterpret them as separate events. Bad luck, market shift, cultural drift. We don't trace them back. Partly because tracing them back threatens the identity we built around being a good decision maker. There is an uncomfortable distinction here. A decision can be locally correct and globally destabilizing. It can solve the immediate constraint while planting a delayed one. And because the planting is invisible, we rarely account for it. I notice something in myself here. I tend to evaluate choices at the first sign of payoff. There's a subtle relief in being able to say that worked, but that relief closes inquiry too early. It freezes the frame. Second order effects require patience and suspicion. Not suspicion of the decision itself, but the completeness of the story. The first effect lies not because it's false, because it's partial. The second effect invoices. It changes you for scale, for visibility, for speed, for simplification, for compression. It changes you for whatever the first win amplified, and it does so on a delay. There's an unresolved tension here. If we wait too long to judge, we risk paralysis. No decision can survive infinite time horizons. Every action has branching consequences. But if we judge too early, we confuse first order success with long term wisdom. So, what changes? Perhaps the shift is this. Instead of asking only, did this work? We also ask, what did this make easier and what did it make harder? The question stretches the time horizon without demanding omniscience. It doesn't eliminate delayed cost. It simply acknowledges that the first visible effect is not the full evaluation. Some good decisions will still be good in aggregate. Some will reveal trade offs we didn't prize in. The point isn't to distrust action, it's to distrust early closure. I don't think this makes decision making safer in any sense. It makes it slower to celebrate and maybe slower to condemn. There is still uncertainty. There will always be consequences we can't see. Second order extends into a third and then fourth. We cannot map the full chain, but we can resist the narrative that the first results complete the story. I have a clearer sense of the shape of this problem, even if it is not resolved yet. And this is the part of learning how to make deliberate decisions.